My name is Margaret Kirnbauer, and I'm a PhD student here at McMaster in the Department of Civil Engineering. So hopefully someday I'll be teaching at some Ontario university. And I was asked to come here today to talk to you about engineering for the environment and what that means. I want to talk to you today about the scope, the impacts, and the implications of some of our engineering design decisions of the past and present. And then I want to talk about what sustainability means to an engineer, and finally transition into this term that's being used much more commonly in the industry, eco-effectiveness. When you see images like the images on the slide here, do they make you stop and wonder whether we're doing things wrong, whether we could do things better? Are they shocking to you? Do we need to rethink our systems, our processes, our designs? This is an image out of the United States showing the demand of raw materials for consumption, for human development since 1900, and the graph stops at 1995. And I don't exactly know where the point is, but you could draw us a vertical line somewhere along that curve and look at where we are today now in terms of our raw material consumption. And it would be essentially the cumulative effect at some point of all previous societies combined. So this, we feel, should be alarming to us as engineers, and we should be finding ways to reduce our consumption of raw materials. We've all heard of sustainability talked about as a three-legged stool of economics, environment, and societies. And if you imagine that stool that you would sit on, if one of those is way out of whack, you're going to have a really unstable, wobbly stool and probably fall off. So what we want to do is to balance those as best as we can. No activity can be deemed to be truly sustainable unless we have a balance of those three. But some extreme environmentalists would say that industrial methods of extraction, of manufacture, and of disposal are destructive to the world. Some might go even further to say business is bad or big business is bad, perhaps when discussing some of our big oil companies. Engineers, on the other hand of this debate, have stated historically that too many regulations are too costly. They create these obstructions to growth, to prosperity, to production, and that if the environment always takes precedence, industry simply can't survive. So how can we balance both growth and environmental protection? The big question here is can we design products that align ecology, human equity, and the economy? And we think yes, and this is what eco-effectiveness is all about, is aligning those three things. The trend that is catching on with some industry leaders is this idea of eco-effectiveness. The idea that we need to do more with less, that waste is a valuable resource, that we need to mimic nature, and that we can learn from nature. And in doing so, we're going to move away from this cradle-to-grave scenario of where we use a product, then we dispose of it at end of life, and move towards a cradle-to-cradle approach, where at end of life, that becomes an input in another system. And this is my final thoughts, my final slide to leave you with today. As you move forward, if you come to Mac and pursue engineering, that you have regard to these three legs of the stool of sustainability, bringing those into every design and every element of your career. Thank you.